The following is a Papi Chulo Radio original program. The views and opinions expressed in the commentaries and/or interviews in the following program are solely those of the individuals and are not views of Papi Chulo Radio, its parent, affiliate, or subsidiary companies.
Welcome to Are You Afraid? Scream Queens, the unofficial Scream Queens internet radio show exclusively on Papi Chulo Radio. Today is Sunday, September 27th, 2015, and I'm your host, Papi Chulo. During tonight's broadcast, we're going to recap, review, and dissect the latest episode of Scream Queens. Later on in the broadcast, get ready for a spoiler alert as we bring you the hit Fox series' casting scoops, spoilers, and ratings. Please welcome my co-hosts. She would never be caught dead sipping on a pumpkin spice latte. It's Priscilla.
Hey!
Or maybe she would be. Who knows? We'll never know.
Gross.
Next up, he always likes to cuddle in bed with his stuffed frog plushie. It's Prince Rico Suave.
What's poppin'? And I didn't die.
So we think. And last but not least, everyone on campus is trying to get with him, including sorority girls and the dean. It's Wilson Hammond Jr.
Ha! What's the science, family?
Awesome. So, the series premiere of Scream Queens has aired, a 2-hour extravaganza. We're all here to discuss Scream Queens, so let's jump into the recap of episode 101, which was titled Pilot, appropriately enough, and episode 102, which was titled Hell Week. Both aired on September 22nd, 2015. So let's start off with the official synopsis of the episode. The girls of Kappa House are dying for new pledges. Kappa House, the most sought-after sorority for pledges, is ruled with an iron fist in a pink glove by Chanel Oberlin. But when anti-Kappa Dean Kathy Munch decrees that sorority pledging must be open to all students, and not just the school's silver-spooned elite, all hell is about to break loose as a devil-clad killer begins wreaking havoc across the campus. So I want to get everyone's initial reaction to the episode. When the credits started rolling at the end of the 2-hour series premiere, what were your initial thoughts? We're going to start off with Prince Rico Suave.
Honestly, I'm kind of confused. I'm still kind of trying to see if I feel it yet. I'm still trying to figure out how I'm feeling about the whole episode yet. But overall, it was comical, which kept me drawn to it. And I like watching people die. So the whole murder part just kind of made it a little bit more intriguing for me. So
All right,
as long as
Hester.
they keep killing people, as long as they keep killing people, I'll be good.
Priscilla, your thoughts?
Okay, I got a really big Heathers vibe off of it, and I love that movie. It's just chock full of satire, and I feel like if you take it too seriously, like the jokes are really gonna like insult you. But it's a dark comedy. It's kind of what Glee should have been its first season. But I don't know. I loved it. It's funny. It's as long as it keeps going that way, and as long as people keep dying, I'm hooked.
So you keep killing people. It's gonna keep us all around. Just keep killing people.
Yes.
There you go. Wilson, what did you think? What was your initial reaction?
Well, I'm going to have to be in disagreement with my co-host here. I cannot damn this program. I get all the, spoofy of the horror genre, and I see a lot of the Heathers, vibe, and I get a lot of the Glee vibe. I love the snappy, dialogue. But beyond that and the visuals, it was campy. It was cheeky. It was too spoofy. It's like you just combined everything that you could think of that was terrible about all the genres, and then put in a good cast of characters and hope it floats away. And it just didn't vibe well with me. Yeah, the main character, what's the girl's name? She's so forgettable to me because she's a jerk.
Chanel, come on.
Chanel?
Chanel 1, 2, and 1,800 of them. Yeah, Chanel is, it seems like every single scene and every single monologue is set up simply for her to have some type of asshole one-liner. Maybe it's just me, but that's the vibe I'm getting. It's all right if you're drunk, but if you're sober and trying to watch it, it's no bueno.
That's most of Ryan Murphy's shows, though. Like, you're gonna get that all the time. Like, he kind of gets stuck on writing this one person that seems to be what he wants to be. This sassy bitch, terrible person. Like, and if you don't like it, tough, because you're gonna get that with Nip Tuck, you're gonna get that with Glee, you're gonna get that with everything that he writes.
Yes, this much is true. And I think he did a good job of like making everyone, how do I say it? They're not too deep. The characters didn't go too in depth before they started getting killed off, which is great. That's awesome. But when you get to like it centers around her bitchiness just a little too much. It's a little, and like you said, maybe I'm taking it too seriously, but it's just she's offensive. And I'm not even going to start on the first episode because Jesus, she started off in like the first 10 minutes being totally off the wall. I wasn't expecting that at all. So maybe I just jumped the gun with the first 2 episodes. But when she called the maid Mammy, White Mammy, I almost turned it off right there.
Yeah, well, we'll be discussing Chanel in a couple of minutes because I do want to go in depth on the main characters. But before that,
Chanel?
Yeah, Chanel. But before that, I really enjoyed the episode for the most part. I'll say this, Chanel is a bitch, and I don't think she's supposed to be a likable character because I didn't like her at all, to be quite honest. Emma Roberts seems to be sort of in this HBIC role type of, she seems to be like typecast as that, which is interesting, I guess. Maybe it says a lot about her, or maybe not. Who knows? Maybe she just knows how to play a bitch really well.
I heard she was a bitch.
Really?
Well, it could be true. Who knows? Allegedly. But she seems to really fit into the role really well, so I'll give her props. She's doing a good job at it because I believe she is supposed to be very unlikable. It's unfortunate that she is sort of like the protagonist, though, because she's going to be in it a lot, and it isn't like when she was on Coven and she was the bitch, but it was more so an ensemble thing, and the main character was much more Jessica Lange's character, which you could almost say was a bitch as well, but at least she was a likable bitch, but that's a whole nother story. But I enjoyed the episode for the most part. I thought the deaths were fun. I thought it was very campy, it was very cheeky, it was very cheesy, and the one-liners kept on flowing like waterfalls.
Waterfall.
That was a good segue
That's my
into
jam.
the first part of the episode. So the series set up a mythology that is, I'm assuming, something that's going to be explored throughout this entire season, and the mythology takes place very, very, a very long time ago in the year 1995 when TLC had this fantastic hit called Waterfalls. Everybody remember the CGI
That was my
music video?
jam.
It's a good song. I can't lie. It was good. And, people, they were doing the bounce in the water and everything. It was fantastic. No, nobody.
That's my jam.
No props for
Yeah.
Waterfalls and TLC.
Yeah.
Well, Wilson's like, I'm not trying to revisit 1995.
Not trying to go back to 95.
Exactly.
Dude,
But we're
that song was
introduced.
killer.
Yeah, it was literally. And so we are introduced to the Kappa Kappa Tau sorority house, and apparently there's this secret that happens in the house that night. There's one of the sisters who is pregnant and she gives birth in a bathtub, and the other sisters are sort of brought up and shown what happened, and I mean they're all basically mean girls and these horrible girls because they don't seem to really care that one of their sisters just gave birth in the tub and there's blood all over the place and that kind of thing. They want to go back down to jam to Waterfalls. So after Waterfalls is done, they come back up and the teen mom had bled out, but the baby seems to be fine. Make a note of that. We saw in another flashback later on in the episode that the maid of the house, was privy to what was going on, and they had called I don't believe she was dean at the time.
Assistant Dean.
She was an associate dean.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so they brought in Associate Dean Munch into it, and so apparently she knows about the secret. What did everyone think of the opening scene and the flashbacks in general to 1995? Do you guys think this is a really interesting mystery? Do you guys like the mystery? Well, just everyone's just reaction and opinions on the flashbacks in general. Priscilla?
It feels, well, if anyone watched MTV Scream, it kind of feels like that, where they're bringing back, like, oh my god, that the birth of the baby that's going to come back and is going to kill everyone because of
Yeah.
a revenge plot. And I get that Scream Queens is bringing back like a whole bunch of other horror tropes, but since it's so recent that MTV Scream did it, it feels kind of stale. So I don't know.
That's a good point.
Wilson?
Well, that's the only part that actually kind of caught my attention was the flashback to 1995 and the girl being born. I'm like, where does she show up later? What significance does she have? And that was the first death, and it was kind of a weird situation because she was the first death giving birth. So it kind of set play in motion in my mind, like, what exactly is going to happen in like episode 6 or episode 7? And in the meanwhile, I expect a bunch of people to get killed. But I'm wondering where the tie-in is going to be and actually how significant it's going to be to, the entire first series. Those flashbacks meant a lot, and it actually set up the stage of who the characters were in present time. It actually made the maid a totally different person. It made Dean Munch a totally different person. You had to look at everyone slightly in a different view because at first you're like, oh, Dean Munch is all focused on getting things together, and the maid is just a lowly maid. Then you find out that they all have their hands in this plot. It just makes it a little bit more twisted. So I think that's probably the most interesting thing that I saw that happened so far.
Prince?
That's true. I didn't think about it that way.
I just really had to agree. I just want to know what the role is. I really don't have any other idea that hasn't already been talked about. I just want to know what the overall role is and who this baby is.
Yeah, I kind of got the feeling it's Grace. But at the same time, it's like, maybe not, because she kept mentioning that her mother was alive for she died when she was young. She never said that she died when I was born. She died when I was young. So you kind of get this feeling that it's Grace that's the baby, but it's kind of like you're not really sure because she seems just a little too comfortable on campus to me.
But
Yeah.
she also said she was 18.
And
Which-
she said
Right.
And
That's
she said that
true.
she knew her mom until she was 2. I thought that Grace's mom was probably the girl with the brown hair, because she said that my mom was a really like good person and was always smiling, which makes me think she was probably the only like good person in the sorority.
Okay, see, that could be interesting as well, because that would mean maybe she doesn't know that she was sort of adopted in a sense.
Ooh.
That's a good theory
Ooh.
right there, because that would fall into the timeline would sort of make sense, because then maybe she was lied to about her age, which, I mean, that wouldn't necessarily be that much of a stretch in a horror movie. So that would be interesting.
Yeah. Now my question is, because I'm not quite sure, when did Twilight come out? Because I noticed that he mentioned that he took her her father, Grace's father, when they were going into the college.
Yeah, that was her first PG-13 movie.
It
Right.
shouldn't have come out.
And that was what, 8, 9. So that technically would put her right in line.
2008. Yeah, so that
2008.
That would make her 20.
Yeah, so maybe she lied about her age.
Aha! The plot thickens.
Did you notice that
Still know her age.
as soon as she entered, the song like "Darling I Died" like and starts right as like she enters the university? I thought that was funny.
Oh, indeed, it did, didn't it? Wow. It's really hard to say. Like, we've got some guesstimations, but it's really hard to say who the killer is. I think I got a good idea, but this show, I can't see. There are some things, as much as I complained about it in the beginning, there are some things that are very interesting about the way the show is set up. It's not poorly written. It's written well. It's directed well. The visuals are perfect. It's a slick. It seems well put together. It seems like they focused and did a good job. I just feel like if maybe they had taken that same amount of determination and put it in another show, it may have come off a little bit better. I don't know. It just screams Scream and Glee smashed together. I mean, and I know that's exactly what it is, but it seems so overt that, hey, we also wrote Glee. It's kind of like, it's super obvious that you like the kind of your pattern. It's kind of, I don't know.
Yeah, that's understandable. And unfortunately, I think that's sort of the point, but I think they're trying to send up both of them and trying to create their own original world, which I would say some elements work, some elements don't, and we'll be discussing that. And let's talk about the first element of the series. Let's get into the characters, and let's just talk about the Chanels in general. First off, we have Chanel number 1. We have her minions, Chanel number 2, who's played by Ariana Grande. We have Chanel number 3, who's kind of like, I don't know what you would call
Lost.
her. She's kind of a little lost, isn't she? We have Chanel number 5, who's the suck up that wants to be Chanel number 1, and we also learned that there was a Chanel number 4 who.
But she's dead.
Yeah, she's dead
She got meningitis.
because she didn't listen to Chanel number
She should have
1.
stayed, and she would have been alive, but she left, and now she's dead.
Exactly. So let's discuss the Chanels. What did everyone think of the Chanels? We know that you love them.
Hilarious.
We know that Wilson loved them.
Wait. Chanel number 2 is hilarious. Well, no,
Really?
I'm
Holy
sorry.
shit.
Ariana Grande is
She was
beautiful.
hilarious. Yeah, she's beautiful, but she lacks in the titty and ass department, and she looks like she's 2.
Oh God.
Oh,
Holy
man.
shit.
I feel like Jared from Subway.
Allegedly.
I looked at her.
Oh,
I'm just saying. I like my freak.
Well, we've got one less problem without her.
Well, I will say she's
One less problem.
Oh man. I mean, I think she was probably the funniest. Like, she had the funniest death so far.
Absolutely. I thought that was the most comedic.
yeah, but her acting was flat as hell. Like she's come out in Sam and Cat and Victorious, and she's played the idiot before and plays the idiot all the time. And like she's funny, but this one she did nothing. Like
Yeah.
she's just there.
They did promote her overly well. Like, she was going to be a big part of it, just for her to not be a huge part of it.
Well, I have some news on that in the spoiler section, but I won't ruin it right now.
All I know is that I guess we're not there to that part yet, but we know one guy already came back. So I think this is going to be one of those shows where people aren't actually dying. They just come up missing after they should be dead.
Pop back like sunflowers.
I think that's when you're going to find out, like, alliances. You're going to figure out who's really trying to do this and what the whole point of it is and all kinds of bullshit. Because, yeah, you're right. Without, spoiling anything, people do tend to pop back up in.
Another Pretty Little Liars.
Oh my God, I love Pretty Little Liars. I can't wait till it comes back.
Prince is A.
I am A, except I didn't get the whole sex change. But yeah, I'm so A.
There you go. So Chanel's, did everyone like Chanel number 5? Do we think that she has her own hidden agenda?
I love Chanel number 5. I like
What's that bit?
the Abigail Breslin, I can't even tell that she was like Little Miss Sunshine. Like, holy crap, she's a really good actress. Like, and I feel so bad for her. She's the smartest out of all of them, but she gets like shit on all the time.
Don't, because you
Yeah.
know what? Her sister's like a slut, so
I thought
I
that was
don't
I thought that was kind of the setup, like to kind of reinforce the superficiality of Kappa Kappa Tau, like all the Chanels. I mean, first of all, Chanel number 5, her name was that was the first time I laughed when she said I'm Chanel number 5. I almost died. I was like, wow, like they had to go there with the Chanel number 5, didn't they? Their Chanel. I mean, it was perfectly timed, but you can see that she's the most intelligent, and that's the reason why she's at the bottom. Like if she was an airhead like Ariana Grande, she would have been at top. And I think that's part of the reason why I don't know, that kind of leads us into who might be the killer, but she seems like she's got some stuff up her sleeve. Like she's not there for all the same reasons as everyone else. And that's why it's so hard for her to fit in.
See, I don't know if she's in the bottom
I
or
didn't think
not.
that was either. I think it was just how she got picked because they tried to make a Chanel number 6.
And also, like, if she's in the bottom, why is she the one that's always given the task of like, hey, I'm gone. You handle like the leadership role while I'm gone.
That's true.
Well, the way I look at it is like this. The teacher, when they leave the classroom, always hands it off to the person that they know is going to tell on everybody else in the classroom. And it's kind of like that. Like, you may not necessarily be my favorite, but I know that you're going to come back and tell me everything that happens in the house.
Or maybe she's just prepping her to take her role when she leaves.
But why? Why is that? That's not the history of Kappa Kappa Tau. Like there's, at least for as far as we know, like each head of the house has been a complete bitch to the next one that's coming up, and it's almost like a rite of passage to be treated like shit.
Mm-hmm. Or maybe it's not good to give it to the one that looks like her brains leaking out of her ears if it weren't for the damn earmuffs. Like,
Well, I was just about to say, we haven't really spoken about Chanel number 3. Did she make an impression?
Except that she's a slut and she has STDs. No, not really.
she's an
She's got HPV. Get it right.
Whatever.
she's
3
an
letters I
idiot.
don't want next to my name, so yeah.
She wants to skate on a poo. on poo. Oh my god. She's dumb as hell. And I don't know why she keeps wearing those goddamn earmuffs. It looks like hot as hell out there.
It's a
Why?
fashion statement. I don't know.
Yeah.
So we've all been avoiding talking about her. Chanel number 1. Your thoughts?
I love her. Like, I loved Emma Roberts when she played the bitch on American Horror Story. So, I don't know. I kind of... If you remember Mean Girls, like the Regina George, like she's the most interesting person there because she plays the bitch. Like the bitch is interesting to watch. Like, so yeah, watching the Queen Bee is fun.
She is interesting to watch. I'll say she was a much more likable bitch on American Horror Story Coven. Here, I have a feeling they're going to have to do a lot of redemption if they're going to turn her around and make her likable before the season ends. Because
Agreed. She's too whiny.
she was
Yeah.
really bad. Like, as not bad as in acting, but just, like, she was just a bad person
Mhm.
throughout those 2 episodes. Like, that whole scene where she was... she got broken up with, and then she broke up with the guy, and then she came crawling back, and then he broke up with her. Like, I didn't feel any empathy.
Do you necessarily
No.
have to? Do you necessarily have to redeem someone though? Like Jessica Lange's character in like American Horror Story season 1, she was a bitch. You never redeemed her. She was always a bitch.
She actually,
but-
I kind of felt she was a little bit redeemed at the end of the first season. I think the one she wasn't redeemed in the most was probably Coven.
But you loved her anyway. Like that's like it's fun to like.
But that's because I'd sleep with her. There's a difference.
There you go.
Yeah.
There's a big difference.
That's all I was thinking. I was like, yeah. Like Emma
I'd
Roberts is
sleep with
killing
Jessica Lange's
She-
characters. See, Jessica Lange's characters are evil, but I'd sleep with them. Like her in this role is like evil but annoying.
Maybe it's because she's dressed like Big Bird most of the time though.
There you go.
Wow.
Good grief.
Yeah, I think Emma is killing the role. I mean, like she's killing the role, like, and she's doing an outstanding job. Like always, like how did you get like this? Always, we know you've killed at least one person, and we know you've maimed at least another, and she's gone missing. The only way she could possibly be redeemed is if she saves 3 or 4 people right before they kill her in the most gruesome, hilarious way of any episode of any season that they created this show. That's the only
Which
way
they
she
probably
could
will. Maybe. Who knows?
Maybe.
I don't know.
Let's
She's gonna have to
move-
like drown in a teacup or something like that. I don't know.
There you go. Well, we all know what Wilson will be dreaming about tonight. But let's move away from the popular girls, or the quote-unquote popular girls, and let's talk about the quote-unquote misfits. And we'll talk about the main one, Grace Gardner. What was everyone's initial reaction or opinion on the character of Grace Gardner?
Ugh. No. I felt like
She's like the heroine, right?
and she's so boring. Like Skylar Samuels, like is like if this was a box office, she'd be box office poison. Like she's so boring. All of her scenes, I'm just like, I'm so bored. Please, just like switch the channel. Like I don't like you. There's
liked
nothing
Grace.
magnetic about her.
Aw, I liked Grace. I was rooting for Grace.
I was like, what's her name? Hope? Chastity?
The
Fuck.
Virgin.
Yes. She was gonna go to third base with him.
She was.
All
At
the
least,
way
you
to
know,
third base.
she gave him the FYI. You know what I'm saying? Gentlemen, did you guys have a better impression of Grace?
Grace is very blah, very much blah. She seems like the type of woman that you have sex with, and she doesn't move while she's on top.
Oh, God.
Yeah, she doesn't make you be like, oh, I'm rooting for her. It's more like, I kind of wouldn't mind if you ran around the corner and tripped and saw the Red Devil, and like, just like he just chose not to kill you because it's like not worth it. Like, I'd rather go kill the other little retarded girl than to kill you right now. Pardon the way. Like something
Oh,
like, I don't know.
God.
She doesn't. She's cute and she's like, but that's it. It's like she's very blah, very plain and tall.
Yeah.
Prince.
I don't know. I thought she was Nancy Drew for a second. I
She
like,
was
nah,
kind of
bitch.
Nancy Drewish,
Yeah, she's like Nancy
but in a
Drew.
good
She needs to
way,
sit her
in like the
ass down.
2015 way.
No, I don't know if that's the case. She needs to sit her little ass down. She's like she's like the perfect example of the person that hears the noise and runs towards it. Like, no, you dumbass. No,
Exactly.
like she's one of those, and it's like, listen here, Velma, sit your little ass down, put your glasses back on, and see your way out of the fucking picture.
See, she's the one that makes me think it might be her dad doing it all.
Ah, interesting. Hopefully that doesn't
Yeah, 'cause
spoil
how-
stuff in the future, Wilson.
Hopefully it doesn't. It's just a guess. It's just a
Yes.
it just seems like she's a little too like drawn to the whole situation. I will get on to the other girls. The other girls made mention of certain things, and like those flashbacks that they had, they kind of said things to point towards Grace, and that's why I keep looking at Grace. But I don't know. Like, I know she's kind of got like this whole center focus thing about her, but there's something about her, specifically, like she's got a hand in it somehow. She may not be actually moving like a moving piece, but she's somehow part of actually why people are getting knocked off.
Okay.
Oh, absolutely. Because it's like, why did he like just stare at her at the beginning while those 3 creepy chicks were singing? Like, come on.
They were part of the initiation or something.
They were part of the
They're
white
creepy.
party. They're dressed in white.
The
And
white
they are
slash
white.
The
white
3
party,
creepy chicks.
the most offensive party
Yeah, it's
ever.
a creepy.
White slash white party, white or wear white, be white. What kind of random? I'm sorry. That was totally random to me. That was a sidebar. Totally freaking random. But I think she's got a hand in it. Like, she's the reason why people are getting killed. If she didn't go to Wallace University, no one would be getting killed this year.
Right. If she never went to college, her dad wouldn't kill everybody.
But we don't know that yet. But maybe. Who knows? So, okay. So let's talk about the other...
He makes playlists. Her dad's the killer.
Yes. I make playlists.
I love playlists. I make playlists too.
That just means you
Hey.
guys have potentials to be killers.
No.
Right.
Let's move into the other misfits. So let's name them by name. First up, we have Hester, quote unquote, neck brace Ulrich. We also have Zayday Williams. We also have Jennifer, who is a candle fetishist.
Candle plugger.
Yes. We also have Sam, who is predatory Les. And then we also have Tiffany, who is deaf Taylor Swift.
Ooh.
Yes. So
I think you Tiffany. That was fucked up. They did Tiffany dirty, and she was like, "I just singing at the top of my lungs."
the haters
Oh god.
gonna hate.
Oh my
Oh
god.
no. Oh my god. I was sitting there watching her get like buried and I was just like, "Oh my god, I can't stand this bitch. Can you please kill her off?" And when that happened, I was like, "Oh my god, I love this show. They killed her off just as I was hating her. Yes, I'm going to continue watching this."
Speak up, Priscilla.
Oh, yeah, okay.
No, that's what she said.
Sorry.
It went over Priscilla's head, but it's
Yeah.
okay. Just like the lawnmower did.
Sorry.
Can you guys speak up? I
Haters
can't
gonna
hear you.
That's messed up.
I just did.
That's-
No, that was the most messed up line ever. I can't hear you. Can you guys speak up? You're deaf. You're not.
That's right.
like, like, what do you mean speak up? You can't hear them anyways.
The Misfits are like if this show was Super Mario, the Misfits are Goombas. Like they don't even need to be in the show.
Are you sure? 'Cause
I love the Misfits more. I do love the
Prince
Misfits
loves
more
Hester.
than I love Chanel.
They're punching bags. They're just running gag lines.
But Hester knew a lot about disposing of body, and she looked at Chanel number 5 inside of that ice locker box really suspiciously when she's like, "Leave the ice box open just in case like she follows us out." Like she gave a really weird look, so I wouldn't be so so sure to just dismiss them.
Yeah, but Zayday also knew a lot about like previous murders, the previous murder that had happened. Though, I mean, I just feel like they have a point there, but they're still punching bags. Like they're just like Goombas. They still bring you points, but they're just there to get beat on. They set up other things for the main characters, and I know that's the whole point. But the main, I mean,
Yeah,
it's
but-
like literally like it's volley and it's just a volley. They just throwing it up there and just.
That just reminds me, sorry, but like one of the things that Grace mentioned at the very beginning is like, this university is so safe. I'm like, I Googled it. I'm like, did you not Google the fact that some person got spray tan to death?
Right.
Like, what the
right?
fuck?
Yeah.
Like, your Google foo sucks. Like,
Maybe she binged it instead.
I think so.
Yeah, maybe. Because Bing's not that great. Mhm.
Exactly.
Yeah.
We might not have to put that on air. We might need them to endorse us one day.
Maybe.
You might need those. Wow.
We might need those. Cut that out.
I liked that Leah Michelle was playing against type because I think a lot of people were worried that she was going to be stuck in this Rachel Berry from Glee sort of typecast type of thing, and she's like the complete opposite of Rachel Berry as Hester.
I still kind of get a Rachel Berry. She still plays a geek role. Like I feel like she's always going to be the geek. Like she's going to be the geek that ends up being kind of hot later on. Like I feel like the Chanel's going to remake her and remake a lot of the Pledges that survive, and she's going to be hot eventually. Or she's going to be the chick that takes over next season, and she's the head of the sorority.
What the hell are they gonna do? House bunny style? Is that neck brace gonna fall while she's jogging after the guy that she likes?
Right. You keep saying next
But she
season
find-
though. You guys keep saying next season, and it befuddles me. Next season? Are you sure? I wouldn't be so set on that unless they've already bought into it. Because I'm not digging it yet.
I want to
Yeah.
say the way
Anybody
Ryan
else
Murphy
there?
is able to Murphy can cast the way he casts. That's what's going to get him. It's the people he casts. It's not going to be because of his story of how it's going to go. I feel like if he gets the next season, it's because of how well he cast and who wants to work with him and who he can get into the next segment of a horror story.
And he does have a lot of people that really enjoy working for him.
Mhm.
Absolutely. And I'm like, come on, you got Jamie Lee Curtis to be on the TV series, the original Scream Queen, to be on this new Scream Queen series. If she's signing
Right.
on to it, you got to think somewhere down the line, this is going to be a lot better than the first. And I think that's why they gave us 2 hours instead of 1, because they knew if they just gave us that first pilot, a lot of people wouldn't sign on.
What the hell else was she doing? Dannon commercials?
Exactly. Well, let's talk about the Dean, played by Jamie Lee Curtis. We have Dean Kathy Munch. What did everyone think of the Dean?
I love.
Well,
what,
I love
she-
Jamie Lee Curtis.
Because we have the
Yep.
dean, and she starts off, she seems very much like she's caring about the students. Then we learn that she's blackmailing the students that are on academic probation and getting them in bed. And then she's getting kind of little sexual predatory with Grace's father. And then we also that look that she gave at the end when she saw Grace's father going
Yeah.
with someone else to get some coffee.
Mm-hmm.
Well, see, I like her because you know what? She pulled Chanel #1 in her office and said, "I hate sororities and I hate you. So this is what we're gonna do." Come on, she's upfront and honest. I love that. She out bitches the main bitch of the show.
She
I
went
liked her
toe to toe
monologues.
with her. That was good. Like that she spits fire. Like that
Yeah,
was
that,
awesome.
that first exchange was pretty awesome. I just think why it takes a lot to hate something. Why do you? We don't really know why you hate the sororities so much yet. I mean, you say why you hate them from a clinical standpoint. From I'm a dean of the school, but when did she ever really express why she hates? And then you go back and does all this other backhanded things. I mean, you're kind of like she's not being upfront about anything. Like, yeah, she's out bitching everybody, but how do you get to the point that you hate something? Like, she's clearly got other motives to
Yeah.
get, and like it's clear she's got other motives.
Well, I just figured she hated Chanel because Chanel's a rich little snobby bitch who thinks her money is gonna buy her way out of everything, and I think that's probably why her hatred for Chanel. For the sororities is probably the bullshit they put her through with the fucking having to cover up the baby bullshit. You know what I mean? Like, I kind of feel like they kind of maybe dabbled on it a bit when they tried to introduce her to that whole bathtub scene. Because remember, at the beginning, they're like, all right, bathtub scene. And then later on, they're like, bathtub scene.
Yeah.
Here's
It's-
the dean.
And why
Did
are they
you
covering up so many murders? They cover up that many murders? Is it really necessary to cover up that many murders? No police. I know it's.
Well, you got Niecy Nash.
Well, did you notice?
I was waiting
said
on
she's
her.
not a cop.
Yeah, we'll be discussing
I was
her
waiting for her
in a
too.
minute. We'll be
Did-
discussing her in a minute.
Did you notice something about the dean though? Right after her like little scene with Chad, she looked in the mirror for a brief second and she's like, "It's not the worst thing you've ever done." And she turned on like her attitude completely changed, which makes me think there might be something completely different. Maybe a split personality? I don't know. Like they are going super horror movie tropes here, so
Yeah, because she was very prim and proper, and then she got very horny around the father. Like her boobs were all out, and all practically, she was like, let me breastfeed you.
yeah.
Yo,
There's like two
she was
sides to
serious.
her.
No.
My whole thing about that.
She had
you know
epic
what?
monologues, though. Major props on the monologues.
I'm glad you guys touched on that because I'm like in my head, I'm like looking at her and I'm like, you know what? It'd be awesome if she's the killer because it's like original Scream Queen turned killer.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's like so epic. Like I'm hoping that's kind of like how it's gonna end because like that would just make the whole series for me. But like
if it were that simple,
attitude.
don't you think a lot of people would be really pissed off? Like
uh,
it was her all along. Like seriously, like her.
It would
Come on, man.
it would explain why she knew right away that someone was in her office and like got him the fuck
Yeah.
out and said, "Mind your own business."
well,
And that's another. They're doing
He
a great
wasn't
job with the
the
writing.
best spy ever. He wasn't the best spy either, you know.
Yeah, that window scene was fantastic. When he cut the slice into the
Never
window.
send a Latino to spy work. Sorry, guys. I hate to say this about my own kind, but never send a Latino to do spy work. This is why you never see Latino spies.
That was fantastic, though, when he like perfectly cut the window. Not the window, the door, the glass in the door, and then he like tried to open it, and then blah, 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 blah. Everything broke. It was epic. Let's move into him. Pete Martinez. He's the local barista and newspaper editor, and apparently a love interest, sort of, for Grace. He's also he does a lot. He's a barista, he's the newspaper editor, and he's also one of the mascots. He's the Red Devil at
Stalker.
at the sports game. He also apparently stalked or fell deeply in love with Chanel and that kind of thing. Was Pete suspicious to everyone? What did everyone think of Pete? Is he just, a really nice guy, right place, wrong time?
He's a red herring.
I said red herring. That's exactly what I was thinking.
Okay, D-May, red herring.
Outstanding.
What does that mean?
That means that he looks super super suspicious, but it's too easy for you to think that he's the bad guy. He's not.
Basically, it's a
Oh, but you know
writing
what?
trope. You know, they dangle him in front of you so that you're like, oh, he's the killer, but he's really not.
I feel like they're all kind of red herrings, though. I feel like every time with this show, you're gonna start to notice with the commercial breaks that everyone's gonna make a suspicious face at the end of it to make it look like they're the killer. Because I've seen so many suspicious faces within this premiere that I'm like, okay.
I
So
think
every time it goes
Priscilla's
commercial
making a
break-
suspicious face right now. I think she's the killer.
Like, I think
Yes.
at every commercial break, someone glances at the camera with a suspicious look on their face that just kind of makes them a target.
That's true. But that's what
Because,
makes
like,
it interesting.
Jamie Lee Curtis. Yeah, because, like, even Jamie Lee Curtis, when Gigi and the dad drove off, she had that evil look in her face, like, what the fuck?
You're taking my man.
And then exactly, and then someone died right after.
I think she's just like a freak. I think
Well-
she's just really horny, and she's taking it to the hilt. And just like everything else in this little make believe town, like that, she's taking it to the hilt. Like she's just a super cougar. I just think she's super horny, and she's doing whatever it takes to do what she got to do to get her some D.
She
You know what I
needs
mean?
she needs grown man penis.
If she's the killer, then she's basically said that Grace and her father have have plot shield. They're fine against her. She's not after them. She's after
Yeah, that was an interesting line, wasn't it? When she was talking to the father, she was like, "Oh, Grace, she's gonna be fine. Nothing's gonna happen to her."
Yep.
Totally paraphrasing what she said, but that's basically what she said. And I was
Or
like,
maybe-
why the hell is she saying this?
Maybe the dean is actually high. Maybe that's part of her little scheme, and messing with all the academic probation kids. Maybe she's got one of those people actually out there. I mean, and then man, now I'm thinking about the show again. Guys may have swayed.
I'm thinking about it based on the death. Because
Wow.
it's kind of more on like how the Red Devil interacts with them before he kind of kills them. It's kind of what's making me try to figure out who it could be, because it's more of the actions that are similar. Like right now, if we want to get down to the technical, I already have my person in my head right now who I think it is.
Well, hold it for a second there, buddy.
I want to hear it.
I know.
I am.
Hold it for a second.
Sherry, I'm just letting it be known that I have the idea of who I think it is based on
Okay.
actions.
Well, that's good
But
to
watch
know.
the action.
Thank you for sharing that you have the idea. We all have ideas too, right? Maybe.
Yep.
Awesome. So continuing on with the characters, I'm going to lump them together just because they were always almost kind of together, minus that the couple of scenes that he had with Chanel. Let's talk about Chad Radwell, and let's talk about Boone. What did you guys think of Chad and Boone, members of the Dickie Dollars Scholars?
Chad can't be with garbage.
That's-
So Chad and Boone are amazing.
Wonder
I
Twin
so-
Towers activate.
I'd so date Boone. It's not even a question. Boone.
Would you be okay
Oh.
with his little frog toy too?
Yeah, because I sleep with a teddy bear, so it's okay. And I just said that on air, so everybody knows now that I sleep with a teddy bear.
We all know.
But it's
Is
okay.
it a
It's
Build-A-Bear?
It's okay. It's a Build-A-Bear, so it costs money.
What's the bear's name?
His name is JP, Junior Patches. His cousin's name is Patches, and he's a dog.
Well,
Indeed.
then
That was a lot of information that I did not need to know.
the Build-A-Bear can talk, and the little frog obviously croaks, so they can be friends. And
Exactly. 'Cause my Build-A-Bear does talk. He says, "You want to play?"
perfect.
I don't know why he does that though. It's kind
Well-
of creepy.
On Chad, I think they play Chad up to be like he could almost be. He's got that personality where he's playable. Like he's one of those guys that you could just pretty much make do whatever you want to do. He's a perfect little dumb minion. And, he's so full of himself that if you pump him up with enough gas, that he'll do whatever you tell him to do. So any one of them women there could easily manipulate him with a little bit of snapper. You know what I'm saying?
I
So,
don't think he's manipulated
I
by
don't think
women. I think he
he is at
manipulates them.
I'm not getting that vibe from him yet. Like you might deal with a lot of women, but if that's all you talk about, then you have insecurities.
Mommy issues.
Obviously.
issues.
As the kids
That's-
would say, obvi.
he has issues anyways, and it's like, you know what I mean. I feel like he's not getting played by these women. I feel like with his little psychology that he's taken, he's actually reverse psychology in them. He's playing them and thinking that giving them the power in their head. Because like what he did with Chanel, when Chanel broke up with him and was like, "Oh, we could get back together," and he's like, "Okay, you know what? I accept your apology." And he's like, "Yeah, but now I'm breaking up with you," so that he can regain the power.
Mm-hmm.
Because I think like when Chanel took power from him, he didn't know what to expect. He's used to being in control. So when she's like, "Oh, I'm breaking up with you," he was like, "What? Wait, what?"
Hey man, I know this is a show, but if you lay the pipe, you lay the pipe. There's no need for all that power games and playing. If he was actually doing what he said he was doing, he obviously ain't slinging no wood, because he wouldn't have to be doing what all he's doing. That's all I'm saying. He wouldn't have to.
Well, and also, and I believe the dean
It's a lot
mentioned
of-
that he
it's a lot
doesn't
of-
know how to do it.
There's a lot of extra stuff in there that he's like, and then his little butt buddy who he let touch on him and shit. I don't quite know. Like I'm not getting a masculine vibe, and that's okay. But I think that's part of his thing. I think that's maybe the reason why he can be.
You don't get the masculine vibe. The guy's like,
No,
everybody loves me.
I don't feel like the masculine vibe's not going to be from him though. I feel like it's going to be from a character that we're going to see in the next episode.
Oh,
I
did
think
we
it's
get a
going
peek
to
of
be.
him?
Yeah, we did. He
The
was
one
like
that
one
said,
of
"I'm gonna get pissed."
I think, is that the black one?
Yeah.
He's the one with the British accent at the very beginning, like at the very front of the squad.
I think it's gonna be like the black one that when they realize the body and they all like scream together for a second when they realize that. Yeah, I think he's gonna be the more masculine one. I feel like
That was the best
Chad's
line,
role
though. He was like, I'm gonna get pissed. And they're like,
I know.
you're gonna get angry? That's the ways. We're supposed to get drunk. I'm like, oh god, people, really?
I feel like Chad's role is to be the rich college kid. Like he depicts what like how college kids are depicted, like in all TV shows. Like he's the one that's sleeping around. He's the big man on campus. He's the rich kid. Like everybody wants to be like Chad's friend. And I think that's what he's supposed to depict. I feel like everybody has their like little role on what they're supposed to depict in this. And that was his, like, Boone's the gay kid. He's the big man on campus. She's the head bitch in charge. Those are her little minions. And then each of her minions are broken down. There's the slutty one. There's the dumb one. The smart one that just kind of takes backseat. And then, like, I think it's supposed to be like, it's supposed to be. I think the whole 1995 feel at the beginning was to show you that even though it's 2015, some of the aspects still apply.
It all comes back around.
I mean, like, Zayday's the token black.
I hope not. Please not, because then she dies, and I want her to stay. I love her.
She's gonna die.
No,
I feel like
she used
the
to
smart
stay to
one.
stop the tampon out of Chanel #1.
She better get her episode money while she can, because she'll be dead soon.
She's the smart one. I feel like she might not, because she's just or if she is, she's gonna be the one that doesn't go down without a fight. Like, it's not gonna be an easy death for her.
It's not gonna be
Just
Jada
because-
Pinkett in Scream 2.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Wow.
So let's finish up with the last couple of characters that we haven't really discussed. We have Grace's father, Wes Gardner. We have Gigi Caldwell, the sorority chief. And we have, how can we not talk about her? We have Denise Hemphill, played by Niecy Nash, who had the best line ever, and I'm going to quote her right now. These are 3 rules to stay safe. Number 1, if you're in danger, you scream Denise Hemphill's name. Number 2, if you don't get a response from Denise Hemphill, it's because she's not there. So you call 1-866-KLJ-0199. I didn't try the number, so I don't know if it's a real number, but somebody out there should try it. And then number 3, if no one answers, you get the hell out of there. So let's talk about Denise, let's talk about Wes, and Gigi.
I seriously thought you were gonna sing the song. Denise is my name, security is my game. I gotta watch these white girls so I can get paid. That was I fucking died.
Denise brought life to the show. Oh my god, I was waiting for her, and I was like, damn. The whole first episode, I'm like, where's Niecy Nash?
I'm gonna
With
wait
my
here at
girl.
the door.
Oh my god, yes, yo. She was like, you know what, Shondell, I'm gonna
Oh,
go back to get
Shondell.
Shondell, why you got a knife in your neck?
She pushed the girl out.
I need
the
my
car.
inhaler, Shondell.
No, I love the joke that can be really skipped really like quickly is like nothing bad's happened in a Best Buy parking lot. And
Oh my god, that shit, it was hilarious. she, she said,
Hashtag
"How?"
accurate.
Oh my God.
hashtag
Oh.
cereal.
Wait, no, that's not true because Best Buy is in Boston, people have been gotten robbed, so stuff happens in Best Buy. Just not everywhere. I don't know where they're at. Where are they?
They're there.
Where's their campus located at? Like where?
I don't know, like
What-
rich people. Like this is a nice neighborhood. I don't know. It's a,
Yes.
So that's what I'm trying to figure out. Where's their campus from? Like, because that's not a place I want to visit.
Oh no, I think that kind of adds to the whole cheeky feel of the whole thing. You don't know really where
Yeah,
it
I would
is.
assume it's like the Northeast, especially if they're talking about autumn and that kind of thing. You don't really hear people talking about autumn on the West Coast.
it can be anywhere. Pumpkin spice lattes are freaking everywhere. So.
Right? Oh my god, they're probably in Massachusetts.
All right, let's make this
Basic-
clear. That's the last time we will talk about pumpkin spice or anything pumpkin spice related.
Okay, that's
a
good.
basic,
I will
Ever-
agree.
yeah, that's a basic white girl drink. I'm sorry.
Unless someone gets killed with it, which is likely with the show.
Wow.
Yeah, it could be.
Yeah, because you know how Scolder and Hot she wanted it. I was hoping he was gonna burn her mouth.
That's true. Oh, basic.
I so wanted her to burn her mouth. I was like, oh, this little bitch.
That's too funny. What about Gigi?
This is-
What did everyone think of Gigi?
She's stuck in the 90s. Gigi needs to fucking get a reality check and come back into like the
She's
2000s.
dressed like Jessie from Saved by the Bell.
Yeah,
That's-
Yeah.
that's who it is. Bingo. Couldn't get my.
I'm waiting for her to pull out a fanny pack.
But no, I loved her line. She's, I'm from a 4th tier law school in the Caribbean, so that means that I'm a pretty smart cookie. Oh my
Yes.
God, I died. I'm just like,
Hashtag blessed.
oh, you're so dumb. Nassim Pedrad plays her really well. I'm like, thank God they got you.
Extremely gorgeous. I'm like that. I needed someone like older and gorgeous looking because I'm like Keke Palmer's hot. I'm like, you know, I got a thing for Jamie Lee Curtis. I got a thing for old lady for grandma. I don't know why. I just flirt with everybody.
You love
so-
Ms. Bean?
but I need someone like in that middle.
Poor Miss Bean.
We haven't
No,
talked
I
about
could
Ms.
do without
Bean.
her.
Let's
could do without
sort
her.
of recap the deaths. We had first up we had the sorority girl from 1995. Then
She did. Oh yeah, sorry. I thought it was like the head sorority girl. I'm like, she didn't die, did she?
no,
she
we
just
had
got
the one in the
acid on her.
tub.
So she bled out. Then
And
we had spray.
then we had Ms. Bean allegedly.
can.
She got her face in
Poppy spray tan. Spray tan lady was
She's at
before
least
that.
very main.
Spray Tan Lady
She's-
didn't die.
Oh, she didn't.
No, she just got ugly, and then a lawsuit, and then won. But that's it.
Exactly.
Oh, yeah. Okay.
Ms.
okay, yeah.
Bean, there was going to be this fake thing where Chanel
was
number
never
1 was
fake.
going to scare the ragtag misfit pledges into leaving the house by allegedly frying Ms. Bean, the maid's, face. But apparently the fryer was on, and so she actually fried Ms. Bean's face, and it looked like she had like nachos on her face.
It did. She had nacho face.
She had
and I,
nacho face.
and I guess that's why she was pulling it down.
Yes, she was gonna eat them.
It was not so fake. Still playing. Wait. Not for nothing. What grown ass woman listens to a little ass girl on some stupid ass plan like that?
I mean, they do call her White Mammy. What the fucking fuck?
But not for nothing. Like,
Well, there is that. My favorite part was when they were at the coffee shop and she was like, "Miss Bean, go sort the trash."
oh,
And you saw her in the background sorting the trash. It was fantastic. And
the whole thing is like, what? Like, why? Just like, I just never like. What would make you take orders from a bitch that's not paying you?
well, I'm assuming that she's
No.
getting paid.
She's getting
That's
paid.
her
Yeah,
job.
I thought she was getting paid from the school though. I thought she was like, you know, those like.
Oh,
the
okay.
soror-
Well, yeah, I get what you're saying, but I guess because
So, like-
she
No.
works for the sorority house, so
She
I
works
guess
the
She
sorority
pledged,
you know.
So she thought she was a pledge.
Yeah, she thought she was a pledge. That's what she thought.
And
And then the next death
In other
was
words,
Chanel.
she was a pledge. I
Yes. So the next death was Chanel
The
number
best death
5,
ever.
who died via
Dude.
text, basically.
Do you want to dance with the devil?
And
That
she
was
was also
awesome.
tweeting, which
That
was
was Chanel
great.
number 2, and that was the best friggin' death scene ever. And
Oh,
the
Chanel
fact
number
that she-
2, yeah, she's not Chanel number 5. Chanel number 5 is Abigail
yeah,
Breslin.
and the fact that she kept getting stabbed and still kept coming back, like, like she got stabbed and then she kicked him, and instead of running away out the door, she ran to her computer to compose a tweet, then died before she could send it.
But
And
then
it
she
came
came
back
back
early.
and she sent it.
And she
It
kept
came
it
back-
under 140 characters, but it was still fucking long.
Yeah, it
Oh my
really
God.
was, wasn't it?
My other question was, why would you text after getting stabbed the first time? Please stop. Please stop.
Well, because
Why would
she's not the brightest bulb in, the
Why
pack.
would
Well, you know,
say it?
I think the reason why I like that death so much is because it pretty much showed how our attachment to our own phones would be our own undoing. You know, I know I may have taken that a little bit too deep.
No,
That
it's
was,
true.
you know-
I think we have a show here about The Walking Dead, and we've always said that modern day people, if they actually saw a zombie, like millennials, would probably go up and take a selfie and then get bitten or something.
Yeah.
Right. Little dumbasses.
Yeah, not my black ass.
Bye.
Yes.
That's when my inner black comes out and I'm running. Like, oh, did you hear that? Woo! See, you're not even gonna finish that sentence because I've already started running.
Not getting bit. But anyway, we
And
digress.
the next death was deaf Taylor Swift. As we mentioned, she got her head run over by the lawnmower.
Yes.
They
That was
so
almost
did-
the number one death for me because I hate
No.
Taylor Swift.
I was.
I wanna
That
go on
was the
record-
number one death for me. I was so happy
Oh.
she was dead.
I want to go
Don't
on
get me
record to
wrong,
say
just
Taylor Swift, if you fall off of if you take a long walk off a short bridge anytime soon, I totally endorse you. I just want her to know that. So yeah, that death was awesome. It was kind of
like Taylor. Oh my god,
place
so
with Taylor
mean.
Swift.
I feel like Taylor's such a sweet girl. Oh,
No.
I feel like she's.
And then after that, our girl, though, our sweet girl, Shondell, stabbed in the
Aw.
neck.
oh poor Shondell.
She gets tossed
That
out the
ain't even about to
car.
happen.
I don't think she's dead. She got where was the body?
Nah.
Well, also,
I-
Ms. Bean's body disappeared.
No, you saw the morgue though, so I think some of those bodies were actual dead.
Yeah, but we also saw Nick Jonas or whatever his character's name was.
Well, yeah, and that's the
Oh.
final
Awesome.
quote-unquote death. So
like
we
a-
saw Boone with the Red Devil.
No, but we saw that one. But we saw that one body, and then there's plenty of bodies still laying around. So I think Boone is the only one that has a deal. I think everybody else is dead. I think
Yeah.
Boone is the partner because just like Scream, every killer, if in real people world, murderer has a partner.
If Munch is right and it's a cannibal, those things do keep bodies really cold, and so all those boxes keep a lot of bodies and keep a lot of stuff secret and safe. Like you don't know. Maybe Shondell's in
I
one
think-
of them.
I think
Oh,
I
poor
think
Shondell.
the goal is to fill up. I think the goal is to fill up that morgue.
Or if it's what Munch said, it's not the goal isn't to fill up the morgue. The goal is it's the cannibal. It's cutting them up and selling them or to other places. Isn't that what she said?
She gave a weird. That was like a weird
alright.
analogy that kind of came out of nowhere. Which who knows, maybe might have some sort of truth somewhere. But she did mention, she was like, well, let's say if the killer was a cannibal and if the cannibal was eating people, wouldn't you think she would be safer with like a bunch of people around her as opposed to being at your house and you're the only person trying to take care of her? It was a weird type of thing. I was like, why would you immediately assume that this killer is a cannibal?
Yeah,
Pretty
that's
See, that's another reason why you would put the finger towards, Miss Munch, because it's like, why are you trying to keep sorority girls in the sorority instead of letting them go, including when their parents come to retrieve them?
Right.
Yeah, it's interesting. It's intriguing.
Maybe it's like Pretty Little Liars. Maybe they're like a team of people. Maybe it's not just like one or two people. Maybe it's like a freaking crew of people and they got like a game plan.
Well,
Maybe they're
since Prince
stupid.
is stuck on trying to guess what's happening, let's actually move into our campus superlative section of the show. So, Prince, since you were bursting at the seams, Since we
All
started this, who do you think will 100% survive? Just one person that will 100% survive, and who do you think the killer/killers are?
All right. 100% survive. It's obviously going to be Grace. She's the main character, and she's going to find out why this is going on. It's just obvious, Let's just state the obvious. As for who I think the killers are, see, this is going to be kind of creative. I think it is clearly, since we have already seen Boone had a fake death. Boone is part of the team. I feel like since Boone is part of the team, that makes Chad his accomplice, because Chad is in psychology and has this odd, weird thing about dead bodies and having sex with dead corpses and creepy shit like that. So why wouldn't he go be? He's probably the killer. And I feel like Miss Munch is the ringleader. She's the one that's telling him who to pick off because she's sleeping with him, and that's how she's keeping him around.
Mm-hmm.
Okay,
So
that's interesting.
that's my kill team.
Priscilla.
Okay, so for me, who I think has like plot armor, who is gonna like stay until the very end, is actually Chanel number 1, because I think that she's the one that's gonna get like punished by the killer, who's gonna like get everybody picked off of, and who's gonna be like, it's your fault, and just basically like a witch hunt against her. And who I think the killer actually is, I think it's a team up of obviously Boone's helping, but I think he's actually helping Chanel number 5, because they gave each other really weird looks when Chanel number 5 was like, I'm her best friend, and I'm not gonna let you come here and like ruin the sorority. And Chanel number 5 did give that really weird look when they were leaving the body in the icebox, and they were like, leave the icebox open. And she's always been there when the Red Devil comes, like right afterwards, and she wasn't scared to go up to see what the Red Devil was doing, because she knew that nobody was up in the second floor already. And I think that Jamie Lee Curtis is Munch is the last like Red Devil, but I don't think that she's part of like their squad. I think she's got her own agenda. I think she's using the Red Devil as like to further her own cause, her own weird, sexy clause.
Her own weird, sexy cause.
Wait.
Wow.
Okay, so since Priscilla said something, can I touch on something real quick about that?
You can't change your answer.
No, I'm not changing my answer.
Okay.
I just kind of all right, so my little assumption, I just never got a chance to say it, was I think it's weird, but I kind of feel like Chanel number 5 might be the baby.
But if she is the baby, that furthers my point. Like, that's why she didn't want Grace to go into the room, because she doesn't want her secret to be revealed. Why she, like, a cause as to why she is the Red Devil, why she wants to get revenge on the sorority, why she wants to bring it down, and why she wants to bring Chanel down.
Okay, well then I guess I contradict my answers. You know what? I recant my statement.
Okay. In the court of law. Wilson, your theories.
Well, I don't know if my answers is going to be any good now. So, yeah. It's pretty much, I'm sitting there listening to these guys. I'm like, it's pretty much.
Just take my
better
answer.
than mine.
Just take my answer that I can't use because I contradicted mine.
Okay, so I'm just going to add on a little bit, okay? I think Dean Munch has her own little thing going. Either she's got her own little Red Devil, she's like a Red Devil herself, or she's like using the Red Devil situation to go ahead and knock a few people off in the process. And there's somebody else, actually, a team, obviously Boone and someone, I'm assuming Chad, they're the ones that's actually knocking people off, but they're somehow connected to the Dean. Now, I hadn't really thought about Chanel number 5 until you guys started talking about it. And the more I think about it, it's a lot of little, there's a lot of, I mean, like I said, there's great writing to this so far. And there's a lot of little things that like point to who could be different killers. But I think somehow they're all connected and they all know it's not just them doing it. Mm-hmm. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
But I think you already said right now that your team is Chad, Boone, and Munch. Like,
Yeah, pretty much. And who I think is going to make it to the end, of course, is Grace. But I know I've talked a lot of smack about Keke B. Palmer going down. It's just being silly about, the token person going down. I actually feel like she's going to make it along with Grace because they were the first ones to become friends. So somehow she'll make it into that safe bubble. I mean, she might have to scuffle a little bit and get away, but I think she'll make it into those last at least 1 or 2 episodes of the season.
I definitely agree with that statement. And if they do have a second season and they try to repeat characters, I feel like those are the type of people they would want to try to keep for the next season.
she has to make it to be Black President. So yes, I
Yes,
want her
that's
to
so
stay.
true.
I love her.
Okay, so
I
I've
do, I
listened
love
to
Keke.
everybody, and I'm trying not to repeat too much of what people said. So I think it's kind of obvious that probably Emma Roberts and Grace will make it to the end. So I'm not going to say them. I'm going to say Dean Munch is going to make it to the end, because I don't think that they would kill off Jamie Lee Curtis.
I don't think she would let that happen.
Yeah, no.
Yeah, I don't think they're going to kill her off. I do like the theory that she's involved in it, but I'm not going to include her in mine because I have a feeling every week we're going to sort of like evolve in our theories until we get to the end. So what I will say, like the idea of Chanel number 5 being involved, and I like the idea that Boone is involved. In my theory, I don't know if Chad is involved, but at least those two are doing something devious together.
You guys didn't get a red flag from him talking about the dead corpse when he was having sex with her?
Well, then if we did that, then I would also throw in Hester into the mix.
I just think
Ooh.
he's funny, and he's
But I
like obsessed with death.
Ooh.
I don't think Hester is, unless
Yeah, but then-
maybe the neck brace is fake.
Yeah.
But then,
Ooh.
okay, so you know what? If we were to look at it in that sense, if it's based on stuff obsessed with death, Hester and friggin' Chad would be the killers. Oh, shit.
Ooh.
And then they're gonna end up fucking by episode 10 or something.
They've already been fucking. Maybe that's why her neck is broken.
My
Wow.
neck, my back.
Wow.
Wait, I got a
Wow.
question. So, who's your favorite Scream Queen? Who had the best scream this episode?
Niecy Nash.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But
Anybody-
but if it has to be one of the sorority
It
girls,
was Leah Michelle.
it's Zayday Williams. Keke Palmer's character, like, I love her. She's
I felt
the best.
the best scream was Leah Michelle when they were the lawnmower.
Well, that's because they focused on her the most.
Maybe Leah Michelle's taking them all out because she wants the solo. Do you notice that it's always people that sing?
She calls them mom. She's like calling
She
them
wants
mommy.
the solo.
No,
She's
she
like,
killed off
"Mo-"
the one that sings "Shake It Off," and she tried to kill off Nick Jonas.
And we do know that Shondell is a good singer, too.
She killed Ariana Grande.
Yeah, she's not a good singer, so.
Why? She took Mariah Carey's voice. So if you like Mariah Carey, then you shouldn't be mad. She pulled the Ursula.
It's one less problem without her. I promise this is the last time I'll say that. But, okay, so it's time now, as we start
Spoilers?
getting close to the end, to get a little spoilery. Right now, let's dive into some spoilers for upcoming episodes of Scream Queens. This is an official spoiler alert.
Spoiler alert.
So I'm going to start off by discussing the ratings really quick. Fox's Scream Queens debuted to 4 million total viewers and 1.6 in the key demographic. Comparing that to what Fox aired about a year ago, there was a reality show called Utopia, which did 2.5 million and 0.9 in the demographic. And in the 9 o'clock hour about a year ago, a combo of New Girl and The Mindy Project averaged 2.9 million and 1.5 in the demographic. So for Fox, this isn't the best numbers. It kind of is much more comparable to like American Horror Story on FX, unfortunately, but I don't think Fox would like to have cable size numbers since it's a broadcast network show. So we'll see how it does. I'm going to assume, especially since this was heavily trending on Twitter, that maybe this might be the type of show that improves once they add Live Plus 3. Live Plus 3 means, people that have DVR'd and streaming services and that kind of thing gets added into the mix as well as on demand. So far it sort of did okay-ish. It got beat by the Muppets, which I thought was kind of awesome in a sense. I enjoyed the Muppets, but I enjoyed
But see,
Scream
like,
Queens as well.
guess what? The thing about that one is that's fine that the Muppets beat them because it's not their actual time slot. So we were actually invading the Muppets time slot because Scream
That
Queens
is true
is at
too.
9.
They settle into their official time slot of 9 p.m. This week. So we'll see if, maybe that helps or hinders them. And as well, they'll also have a different lead in as opposed to just local programming. Moving into some interviews that have come out post premiere, and there's a little bit of information which might be interesting to all of you. It seems that you can't mourn Ariana Grande yet because Chanel number 2 will be back. Ryan Murphy has stated she comes back, I believe, in episode 6 and maybe more. She's recurring, definitely. Everyone thinks she's gone, but she's not gone. And Ryan Murphy continued to tease to EntertainmentWeekly.com. I wouldn't say she's a ghost. Nothing you think is happening on the show. You think some people are dead. They're not dead. And then he went on to talk about not Joe Jonas. Nick Jonas went on to on entertainmentweekly.com, Nick Jonas went on to talk about his character, and he says, I can tell you that he is a part of the team of people involved in this master revenge plan. His history with it goes very, very deep.
Yes!
And Ryan Murphy says, one of my favorite things is that he's spying and traveling around the campus dressed incognito, sort of like as Joaquin Phoenix. So I guess he's dressed looking like sort of like bummish in a sense. So that'll be interesting to see. And another tidbit that came out is someone from Entertainment Weekly was on set in one of the later episodes, sort of like observing one of the filmings, and he said that he's observed a scene with Dean Munch, and there were 3 people dressed as the Red Devil interacting with Dean Munch. So I don't know if she was getting attacked or if she was conferring with them, and apparently one of the individuals didn't have a Red Devil outfit on because apparently, they ran out of Red Devil outfits, so they were dressed up as like another character, but they were also sort of like a killer.
Mm-hmm.
So that'll be interesting to see. And in an interview for CNN.com, they interviewed who is this with? They interviewed, just a bunch of the people behind the scenes, Ryan Murphy, Brad Falchuk, and Ian Brennan, and they give an answer to a question that all of you had during tonight's program. Chanel number 3's earmuffs. Is it a fashion choice, or will it become significant at some point? And the answer is, there is a very specific reason why she wears them, and you find out in either episode 6 or 7, we find out why she wears the earmuffs, and it's not just fashion, it's necessity. The funny thing with that is that it didn't start as a necessity. It started as fun, and then once we had them and it looked great, it was like, oh, we've got to give a good reason for it. So we put that in there.
I'm telling you, it's so her brains will...
I think it is? Because now you just said the spoiler. I think she might be part of the group too, and she's being reported to through a headset.
Okay. Prince getting all fancy and conspiracy theories.
She's not
I like it.
She's not as dumb as we think she is. She just plays dumb.
I think it's like Heather Morris, and her brains are leaking out, and that's why she needs them to plug it up.
Wow.
Well, there you go. So before we wrap things up, during our extra special, slightly a little bit longer than usual premiere episode, well, it was a 2-hour show that we had to cover, so it makes sense that we went over by a few minutes. Any final thoughts on the 2-hour season premiere? Priscilla?
I'm looking forward to more, and I'm hoping it, again, just as like at the beginning, I'm hoping for more deaths, and I'm hoping that, like you said, with the 3 Red Devils, I'm hoping that it turns out that with these more devils, more deaths.
Not bad. Wilson, who started off this recap hating the show, are you liking it a little bit more?
I think I'm I'm on the fence with that one still. So I'm gonna be like Wilson in Home Improvement and be looking over from the edge. I really don't know how I feel on this one yet, but I do think if they continue with the devs, the show will pick up a little bit. So with that, like I said, it's pretty slick. It's well polished. It's well written. I like the visuals. I kind of like it's kind of gimmicky, and I kind of like that. I kind of get the reason why they're doing it. If I could just get a little bit, I don't know, more of something and a little bit less of whatever else it is, maybe I'll come to the dark side. But at this point, it's cool. I just look forward to seeing how everybody plays out, and hopefully we can get a more masculine character to pop his head up in. So yeah, I'm still on the fence. I'm sorry, guys. Love you, but I'm on the fence. I don't know how I feel about this show yet, but we'll see how it goes along as the season progresses.
Prince?
I like the show. You know me. I'm all about the murder. So as long as they keep murdering people, even if it's not real murders, the thing I like about this is they're keeping the murders realistic. Like it's
All right,
like
Hester.
well, I'm just saying, like, I'm so used to watching shows where like the murders are so far fetched and like it's like when would you ever be like what kind of like situation like this seems a little bit more realistic because it's like okay hazing okay so that's how some of them get into play like
Text
they're
murders
a
are
little-
completely real.
oh well no that's not real but like you know he's just stabbing them. It's not like he's doing like some weird far fetched shit like. He's keeping it nice and simple. He's not like, you know...
People getting their face burned off with the grease.
Yeah, but he didn't do that. I'm talking about, like,
Not-
murder-wise. Like, the murderer is keeping it nice and simple. He's, like, stabbing people in their necks and, like, you know, straight just
Right, I
stabbing
get what
people.
you're saying.
Mhm.
I'm like, it's not like one of those, like, far-fetched where, like, you're like, the killer could never do some shit like that. Like, he's in the devil suit. How's he chasing... Like, you know, how's he flying down the hallway after somebody? Like, it's realistic.
Yeah.
But I also, what else do I like about it? I also do like that they're being different with the deaths too, like a lawnmower, the friggin' deep fryer. Like even the first death, like normal murder shows, they never really just have someone just bleeding out. Like and people going back to a party, like it's always oh my
Waterfalls
god,
is
someone's
the
dead. What are we
jam.
gonna do? That's what I'm saying. Waterfalls is the jam. She's on top of the table, just straight gigging, like hey.
Yo, she was the only death that I've been sad about yet. Everybody else, I was like, yeah, we never got to who we want to die yet. We never got to that point yet. Can we do that, or is that too sadistic for this type of show?
Well, really quick. So everyone gets about 10 seconds to say who they want to die next. Wilson, since you're very excited to kill people, go. Who do you want to die next week?
I actually want Hester to go.
Oh, wow.
I like Hester. Candle
Prince, who do you
blogger.
want to die next week?
Candle blogger.
Okay. Priscilla,
Grace.
Ooh.
Oh wow.
that's not going to happen. Not this soon. Okay, next week, just to say someone different, I'll say Predatory Les.
Oh, why are you gonna do
Because I have
her
a feeling
that?
like she's not a regular character. I mean, she had like maybe 2 lines, so that means that she's expendable.
We know.
No. I actually, are we still in the spoiler section? Because she is gonna die.
Well, there you go. So, well, before we leave, just really quick, my final thoughts. I enjoyed it. I thought it was a fun show. I had fun with all of you here tonight, so I'm excited to continue on this journey with all of you. So, listeners, join us next time for a brand new installment of Are You Afraid Scream Queens? Visit poppychuloradio.com/archives to download this episode and many more. Registered users will gain access to our archives of previously aired broadcasts. Please like us on Facebook by going to facebook.com/PCR Are You Afraid? Also like Poppy Chulo Radio on Facebook by going to facebook.com/poppychuloradio. You can email us with any questions, suggestions, comments, or concerns at contact@poppychuloradio.com. Co-host, can you please wish the listeners a good night?
Night,
Good
guys.
everybody.
Take it easy, family. Love you.
Thanks for tuning in, everyone. Join us every Sunday at 8 p.m. Eastern, 5 p.m. Pacific for a brand new installment of Are You Afraid? Scream Queens. Good night, everyone.